Hello everyone, how's it going out there in Piptown? As many of you know by now, the first of the Ghostbusters event is live. We're gonna go through it for you right here. Going into our events, you will see that the first Ghostbuster Unboxed event is Dr. Venkman. Hello, Dr. Venkman. Unboxed, go! Node number 1, we will get 10 of our Peter tiles. Ooh, and we're playing with the Ghostbusters with the ecto set. And now we get to see Ray sliding down the pole. A wonderful touch. Anybody who's a fan of the movie will immediately get that reference. It's the entire reason why they bought the fire station in the first place. That's amazing. We are starting off with Egon. Egon is the first one to go. We have Egon's perfect design at rank 5 deals 90% damage to the target foe plus 5% bonus damage for each foe that has stealth. If the target foe is spooky, the bonus damage is plus 10% for each foe that has stealth instead. His special ability number 1 deals 70% damage to the target foe plus 10% bonus damage for each active Ghostbuster or Techie hero. There are 4 Ghostbusters active. It says each active, not each other active Ghostbuster. So that would imply that this will deal 110% damage. It will then deal 65% damage to all of the other foes. Foes with stealth are inflicted with defense down for 2 turns. Let's move on to his next ability. No eye in Egon. Select another target hero. That hero gains prepared. Should probably be Ray, because Ray gets bonuses when he crits. If the target hero is a Ghostbuster, they will gain critical damage up to. If the target hero is spooky or a techie, they also gain debuff immunity. Ray is a Ghostbuster and is spooky. Egon also gains everything that the target hero gains. His passive ability, whenever Egon is attacked by a foe with stealth, he has a chance to reduce that damage. Whenever a Ghostbuster hero assists, they will automatically heal for 5% of their max health unless they have defense up, and then they heal for 10% of their max health instead. And then his ultimate ability deals a bunch of damage and does a whole bunch of crazy other things. It is currently on lock, so we will not worry about it until it comes to pass. I want to pull up Ray. Whenever Ray critically hits, he has a 100% chance to clear a random debuff from a random hero. At the start of combat, Ray gains 15% critical damage for each other Ghostbuster hero. So he will be gaining 45% critical damage. Notice that this one does say each other Ghostbuster hero. Supernatural Elimination, Ray deals 95% damage to a single target and has a 25% chance to critically hit, a plus 25% chance. If the target is spooky, the ability has a 100% chance to critically hit instead. So Ray will always critically hit against a spooky character, which means that when targeting a spooky character, Ray has a 100% chance to remove a debuff from one of your heroes. That's great. Ghost Bust a Move. Ray heals himself for 5% of his max health for each active spooky hero and foe on the battlefield, and then deals 90% damage to the target foe. He has a 70% chance to clear 2 debuffs from the hero with the most debuffs, so better than average. If the foe had grit down, then Ray will clear fear from all Ghostbuster heroes and 1 random debuff from all spooky heroes. So, if the target of his attack has grit down, Ray will clear 1 random debuff from himself, is most of the time what this is going to mean, unless you put Ray on a team with a bunch of other spooky characters, which you might want to do. Start your theory crafting. I Ain't Afraid. Ray's basic attack deals 100% damage to a single target. If that target is spooky, Ray will gain 10% pep. If he has fear, he gains another 10% pep. Let's look at Winston first. We're going to end with Peter because Peter is the subject of this event, so we'll do him last. Winston's basic attack deals 85% damage to a target foe, with a 60% chance for him to gain 1 stack of courage. If the target foe is spooky, Winston will gain 2 stacks of courage instead. Food for thought, special. For each stack of courage on Winston, he gains 1 stack of heal over time for 2 turns, and clears 1 random debuff from himself, and then clears all stacks of courage from himself, with a 50% chance to regain 2 of the stacks of courage that he lost. Ready for anything deals 100% damage to the target foe. If the target foe is spooky or they have attack up, Winston will heal for 20% of his max health. He then gains taunt for 2 turns and max health up for 3 turns, and this also will clear all of his stacks of courage. If he had 5 stacks of courage, then he'll gain Hardy for all of the Ghostbusters, including himself, with again a 50% chance that he will regain 2 stacks of courage. Now, what does he do with all of this courage, you might ask? Whenever Winston is attacked and takes damage, the damage is reduced by 7% for each stack of courage on him. Courage maxes out at 5 stacks, which means if he has a full 5 stacks, he will be reducing the damage he takes by 35%. That's pretty significant. And whenever another Ghostbuster hero assists, they have an 80% chance to gain defense up for 1 turn. Defense up, where did we hear that in our Ghostbusters team? Let's go back to Egon and notice he has in his passive, whenever a Ghostbuster hero assists, they heal for some of their health. If they have defense up, they heal for 10% instead. Winston, whenever a Ghostbuster hero assists, they have an 80% chance to gain defense up. Then, Egon, whenever a Ghostbuster hero assists, they heal, and if they have that defense up buff, they heal for more. See where this is going? Probably so. Because Peter Venkman has the ability to call Ghostbusters to assist. His basic ability deals 110% damage to the target foe with a 50% chance to deal 25% bonus damage. His second ability deals 90% damage with a 100% chance to call another random Ghostbuster hero to assist for 80% damage. There's your assist. If there are no other active Ghostbuster heroes, he will call another random hero to assist for 50% damage instead. So he will always be calling somebody to assist. If it's a Ghostbuster, they just do more damage. Additionally, if it's a Ghostbuster, Winston can put defense up on them and Egon will have them heal. Throw It deals 120% damage to the target foe and reduces their pep by 50%. If the target is spooky or their pep is reduced to 0 by this skill, then they will be stunned for 1 turn. So not only have they their turn meter completely reset, but they're also stunned, which means they have to go through their whole turn meter twice before they get to act. That's pretty strong. And Peter's passive is, he is immune to fear. So, too bad, spooky team. Whenever he's attacked and takes damage from a spooky foe, he has a 50% chance to counter. Whenever another magical hero attacks, Peter has a 60% chance to heal 10% of his max health. So magical heroes are Magisto, Willa, and heroes along those lines. So if you ever were to put Peter Venkman on a team with one of those characters, whenever one of them were to attack, Peter would have a 60% chance to heal for 10% of his max health. There are no other magical Ghostbusters, it's important to point out, at least not of these 4. So, he will never actually gain that bonus on a Ghostbuster team. But when it comes to theory crafting, or who you want to put in this 5th slot, it makes a big difference. If it's Slimer, then you're going to activate a whole bunch of the other Ghostbuster synergies. But if you were to use Magisto or Willa or one of the other magical heroes as they evolve in the game, who knows? We'll see. And then we have the Ecto 1 set. PKE performance. At the start of battle, each Ghostbuster hero has a 35% chance to gain critical chance up 2 for 2 turns. This will be very helpful for Ray, remember, who gets bonuses based on his crits. Plus a 5% bonus chance for each spooky foe. Whenever a magical hero assists, they have a 30% chance to remove stealth from a random foe. Rectoplasm. Whenever a spooky hero critically hits, they have a 20% chance to clear one random buff from the target foe for each Ghostbuster hero and copy the buff to themselves. There are two spooky heroes on the Ghostbuster team. One of them is Slimer, who is not going to be part of the event at this point. He is part of the master event that you will need to use your 4 Ghostbusters to unlock, but he is spooky. So if you're to do a 5 Ghostbuster team, you'd have 2 spooky characters. They would be Slimer and Ray. So Ray is going to attack, possibly clear debuffs from your own team and buffs from the opposing team, not to mention what Slimer is going to be doing. Whenever a Ghostbuster hero critically hits, they have an 80% chance to inflict skill down for 3 turns on the target foe. Radical idea. Whenever a Ghostbuster hero uses a non-attack ability, each other hero with 1 or more stacks of courage has a 60% chance to assist for 35% damage. Whenever a role model hero deals damage, they have a 35% chance to inflict fear, plus a 5% bonus chance for each stack of courage. So it looks like Winston is probably going to sit somewhere around a 50% chance to inflict fear on the opponents based on this passive and how his kit works. Ghost Busted. Whenever a Ghostbuster hero uses a special ability, there is a 40% chance to inflict 1 stack of damage over time for 2 turns on a random foe with stealth for each Ghostbuster hero. Question is, does this mean that if you are on a team with 5 Ghostbusters that there's a 200% chance to inflict 1 stack of damage over time? Or does it mean that there is a 40% chance to do this 5 separate times? It's a very, very important distinction because on the one hand, you can get upwards of 5 dots on a single attack. On the other way, you're just basically guaranteed to get a single dot as long as you have 3 Ghostbusters on your team. Whenever a techie hero, that's Egon on the Ghostbuster team, uses a special ability, each non-spooky hero, so here it will be everybody except Slimer and Ray, has a 40% chance to gain 1 stack of courage. Here is the extra courage coming in for this team. If we go back 1 and find whenever a Ghostbuster hero uses a non-attack ability, each hero with 1 or more stacks of courage has a 60% chance to assist. Now you see where this is all getting wrapped up, right? So whenever Egon uses a special ability, there's a chance that people will gain courage. Additionally, because he's using that special ability, everybody has a chance to assist. When people assist based on Winston's passive, they gain defense up and they heal. Woof, so much. Let's get into it and see how it works. I think we are going to start with Sticky Science. Let's get some AoE damage coming out there. Cool. I think that was supposed to be marshmallow fluff that we just covered everybody with. We're going to let Winston build up courage, so we're going to do a basic attack, and he shoots. Excellent. Now, Ray. Does Ray just want to do a basic attack, or do we want to do something special? We don't need to specify the critical hit to get rid of this guy, so I think a basic attack is in order. Bingo. Now, Peter Venkman is coming in to attack and call another Ghostbuster to assist. Let's do this one. Cool. He shoots wild, he misses terribly, but we call in the assist, and it looks like together they take down the opponent. We have defense down on Winston, so let's see what happens if we now give the prepared to Ray. And because it was a special ability and we had courage all over the place, it called a bunch of people to assist. Excellent. We'll just deal some regular damage from Winston. Here come all the spooky foes. All right, check it out. We've got Slimer in the back here. Explorer, Attacker, Ghostbuster, Spooky. We're not going to go over his abilities yet because we don't have access to him at this point, but we will go over them in a future video. Target is Spooky. There's a 100% crit chance. We've got Basil back here. We've got Willa, who is not currently protected by Basil's taunt, so we are definitely going to target her first. We're just going to critically hit Willa for all she's worth. and take her away if we can. We can attack and reduce Pep. I think a basic attack is going to take out Willa, though. The courage is currently building. Oh, here it is. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go over the ultimate ability. Deal 100% damage to all foes, plus 25% bonus damage for each other active Ghostbuster hero. That's 3, so there's going to be 175% damage to all foes. In addition, it will reduce each foe's pep by 35%. Spooky foes and all foes with more than half of their health will also get debilitate, which means the next time you hit them with an attack, their turn meter goes to 0. All of the Ghostbuster heroes and all of the heroes that are inflicted with fear will gain attack up for 3 turns. It'll clear all of the debuffs from all of the Ghostbuster heroes. It'll clear fear from everyone else. Now, if Slimer is an active hero, it will additionally inflict fear on the opponent. But again, we don't currently have Slimer. So, let's see just how much damage this does. Across the streams. Oh, and it takes us to the set at the end of Ghostbusters 1. The next time somebody asks if you're a god, you say yes! And we unlock Peter Venkman at 1 star. Now, what's the rest of this event going to be about? Mr. Ghostbuster, I implore you to stop. We're the ones that made the call. Please, call me Pete, PhD. So I just sassed an undead girl for no reason? You're in big trouble, mister. I guess I should skip the part where I ask you to leave a review. Wah, wah, wah. Alright, so Peter is unlocked. There's no doubt in my mind that we will be using him to go through the next couple, just like the Yorick event that happened recently. We've already gone through his abilities, so let's see what happens when we go back in. Recommended level 6, gear level 2. Alright, so this is going to be a pretty easy one. Gotcha. So it gives us Peter Venkman to play with. Now I am going to use this saved team that I have here. So instead of requiring that we level up our Peter Venkman to play with, they're going to provide us with the Peter Venkman. Now, I have an assumption that he's going to be super weak and probably not do anything. We all got off on the wrong foot. I'm Dr. Venkman, and you are a zombie. Incredibly stressed. The spooky new shop opened up right next to mine. Mysterious noises, otherworldly activity. I can't compete. They'll run me out of business. Right, well, ectoplasm and ergonomic issues aside, the door is locked and the Ghostbusters don't break and enter anymore. Take the underground tunnels, just do your best to avoid the angry miners. Okay. Are they going to be skeleton miners? A bunch of ghosts? Yep, here we go, skeleton miners. Now, if you look at the health of everybody on this team, this is going to be a pretty negligible fight. Just clear everyone out with Argenta's cannon right from the get. Every single one of these characters should go down with a single hit. Yeah, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Unless they dodge, what is happening? Come on, just take them out. We know it's gonna happen anyway. There it is. It's important to note for those of you who might be beginning players that first level is still probably going to be pretty easy for you. The foes that they give you in that particular level are relatively easy. You gave us quite the scare. Thought you were one of those ghosts come to slime all over us again. I'm offended. Sliming goes against my natural charm. Now where is that ghost? Actually, forget it. I know this little blob of goo. I'll just follow the slime. So what is our next one here? Okay, level 13, gear level 2. This is, again, still probably going to be quite easy, even for those of you who are new to the game. Anybody who's been playing the game for more than a week is just going to breeze through this. Slimer! Oh, Slimeball, come out! Come out wherever you are! You know, Slimer, you keep doing this and people are going to start to talk. Clients are going to think we're hustling them. Ghost grifters. And Slimer just says grr. Well, someone's hangry. I'm starting to think you're not the Slimer I hate to love. Perhaps it's the unbridled anger? Who are they putting in the game for us this time? Okay, we've got a couple of tanks. We've got the Highwayman. Again, let's just start by one-shotting the first set of characters with our Gentis cannon. Brilliant. Now, we know that Basil is going to taunt, so we'll go ahead and target him first anyway. It is Peter Venkman's turn yet again. I think we will call an ally to attack. Why not? Didn't need it, though, because Peter Venkman one-shotted the character, so we're going to blow up the Skeleton City attacker, see how many times the zombies res. This is going to be 1. That zombie. Ooh, the second zombie is not going to res. So Redbeard comes into the counter, clears it up for us, and we're out. Act 3, slimed, completed. We now have enough tiles to upgrade Peter Venkman to 2 stars. That wasn't Slimer at all. Was it a shadow copy from the multiverse? Could this be a portal to other dimensions? Great job, Pete. Brains and looks. Now, if only Ray was here to compliment me. Radio to Ray, it's Pete. I need backup, stat. Bring compliments. Aw, Peter. So sad. So down on himself. He needs more confidence. Got it. So here you go. Peter Venkman is required for this next level. You must have him at 2 stars. So, let's go and level up the Venkster real fast. Peter Venkman, we will put him at 2 stars. Now remember, there is no gold cup for any of these levels. You just complete them, and you complete them once. So we are going to save all of our resources, because at the moment, Peter Venkman by himself does little to nothing for us. So we're just going to get him up to 2 stars, which is required to get us into this level in the first place. Then what we're going to do is create the rest of our team based on who we want to take in here in order to just rip through everything. Venkman works with other magical characters, so I might put a Magisto, maybe a castle team in there if it is required, but we'll find out. So we're coming in with our new 2-star Venkman, who's still level 1 with no gear. He has 1 health bar. He's just gonna get clobbered all day. Great, so we're still killing things in 1 hit, so we will cannon the Yuppie. Fantastic. We will call an assist, because Peter Venkman can't do much. Wait, did that not call an assist? Peter, what happened? Ah, there's only a 60% chance to call another random Ghostbuster hero to assist when this ability is at level 1. Cool, 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 cool. Which means at level 1, Peter is going to do essentially absolutely nothing for your team. We'll get rid of all the poppies first, just to prevent them from possibly bringing people back to life. Will she bring people back to life? It is rare that it happens, but it can happen. And in this case, the battle is going to be relatively easy. We just don't need to necessarily have it last longer than it needs to. We get the next 5 characters for the same reason. We're going to take out Aurora first. Ash is the only character that actually does any damage on this foe team that has been presented to us. This is going to be overkill for construction worker Sal, but it's fun, so we're doing it anyway. And Sal takes 9,000 damage, which is enough to kill him in 1 hit. Great. Alright, 10 tier 1, 50,000 currency, 10 gems. Cool, 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 cool. Moving right along, Venkman level 2, still required. Okay, bring me Argenta, please. Peter Venkman, the scaredy of scareds. Alright, we are going to start with Willa, as per usual. Oof, alright. Lots of countering by Redbeard, taking some of the characters out early for us. Peter is gone. Alrighty. we are going to take out the Princess Storms because they taunt and do AoE damage. And now they're gone, so they will do nothing. Still just one-shotting characters. Left, right, and center. I think those will kill Barnabas on his turn, but it doesn't matter. The Highwayman comes in, does nothing in particular because all these characters are pretty low. So, considering the enemies that we face on this particular level, if you are new to the game, you may have a little bit of a struggle here because they do have several characters that can taunt, and they do have several characters that at an equivalent level do a lot of damage, namely the Highwayman, Basil the Batlord for the taunt. So, don't feel bad if you're struggling there, if you're at a low level. Just remember to use all of the abilities to help you last out or get around the taunt abilities. Try not to target the Highwayman right away because he's going to stealth anyway. So unless you can kill him in basically one hit or before he gets to stealth, then all the damage that you apply to the Highwayman is essentially wasted until he comes out of stealth again. Plus they get that healer at the end, so it's better to just play it safe on that one. Do what you can to go through or around the taunts. Make sure you take out Willa, and you should be good. So, Basil the Batlord is going to start off by taunting. You'll notice there are a lot of tanks being thrown at you at this level. Characters have stopped being killed in just one hit. Basil, of course, can always heal. Ooh, we got a miss against Basil. It's important to note, I was just double checking, Peter Venkman's special that calls the assist only has a 2-turn cooldown. That means you can basically use it every other turn, which I think is going to be fantastic. And one of the premier reasons why the Ghostbusters might actually be powerful as a set. All of those assists, the constant micro heals that they will be getting all the time, could make them a force to be reckoned with. Of course, in order to get them, you're going to have to shell out tons and tons of money. But if you're willing to do that, then that's your prerogative. More power to you, I guess. Okay, the second set. There are 5 characters that come out, meaning there's still 2 left that we have yet to see. We're going to take down Magisto, if we can, right from the beginning. Now, because he has that stack of enchantment, instead of dying because of his set, he's going to stay alive because he's obnoxious. So we just have to continue to crush everybody as best we can. She has enchantment as well, which means that she's not going to die twice. Okay, what do we got here? What do we got? Take out Magisto, since he's got the taunt on him, and there's nothing else to do for it. There you go. They bring in Brutus, but it's going to be too late, I think. Oh, except for the enchantments on these guys. So we're going to use Redbeard's ultimate on Brutus, since he's the only character without enchantment. Hopefully that'll take him out. Great. We'll do the cannon to spread around some damage. Apply some debuffs. Because of the enchantment, we didn't actually deal any damage. But we're going to take this opportunity to heal up our team. Not that we really need it, but as you just saw, the other characters are going to die just automatically. The enchantment now gone. Magisto is dead. And we get the next set of rewards. 10 more of the Tier 1 and Tier 2 ability materials, but more importantly, 50,000 currency. Oh yeah. Ooh, now it's required that we level up Venkman to 3 stars in order to continue. Interesting. Right now, our Peter Venkman is only at 2 stars. We need 35 more tiles in order to get him. Currently, the only way to get Peter Venkman tiles is going to be in the store. You can continue playing this event for $30. That seems like a lot, doesn't it? Yes is the correct answer to that question. So that's where we're going to end for right now. The hope is that by the time the rest of the events unlock, that we might be able to use some of our currency to upgrade the Ghostbusters to higher levels, higher star levels. If so, then we might be able to come back and finish some of these events. If you'll notice, the Peter Venkman event is going to be available for an entire month. So, we do have plenty of time for you to star up these characters and decide if you want to pay $30 for a 3-star character. They've also shown us the upcoming events if we want to see them really quickly. We'll notice that Ray's event is exactly the same style as Peter Venkman's event is. I imagine that it will have a similar increase in difficulty and similar requirements. We then will have that followed in 2 weeks by Ghosts and Garmadon Part 1, where you will earn Winston, Egon, and Ecto 1 tiles. So if we preview this one, it looks more like a standard brick pace event with multiple chapters. You'll notice at the very end is where you get your Winston tiles. I'll bet it's going to be the same for Egon and the Ecto 1. Then in 3 weeks, we'll have Ghosts and Garmadon Part 2. This is the master event where you can unlock Slimer. And based on what they told us in the Q&A, it will require that you have the 4 Ghostbusters plus the Ecto 1 set. It looks like all that's required for the first level is that you simply have the characters. But of course, to unlock Slimer, you're going to need more than 10 tiles. To unlock Slimer, you're going to be needing 190 tiles, which means you're going to have to get your characters up well beyond the 2 stars that they give you for free. So it looks like if you want to get the full Ghostbuster team, they might actually be a very, very strong, very viable team to play with, and a very formidable team to fight against. However, if you want to do it in this first round release, you're going to have to shell out some cash, and it looks like it's going to be a pretty significant amount. But what do you think? How are you doing with the event so far? Are you looking forward to the rest of the Ghostbusters as the weeks go by? Let me know, and I'll see you next time.